Hello. Happy New Year. Are you prepared for the most unhinged, most funny, most educational, engaging beauty podcast there is out there? I hope you are, because that's exactly what you're getting with this podcast. Welcome to Poor Choices, the podcast that helps beauty professionals and enthusiasts alike make better beauty decisions. By the way, I'm your fairy glow mother and the host of this podcast, and you can connect with me on social media at Fairy Glow Mother. You are just tuning in at the very beginning, so if you're listening in January, anytime in January 2025, don't trip, because you're still early, you're still new, but don't gatekeep. Definitely share this podcast with anyone who is mildly interested in beauty. You should definitely be listening if you're a beauty professional. I'm an esthetician, but a lot of what I'm talking about on this podcast will apply to you if you're a hairstylist, if you're a nail tech, if you're a lash tech, barber. I have so many gems that I'll be dropping, so just tune in. This is the first season of this podcast, and season 1 is all about humble beginning. How do you navigate this vast world of skincare and beauty? If you're interested in becoming a professional, how do you start your career? If you're a client or just an enthusiast, where do you get started? For my professionals out there, this industry is huge, and it is so easy to become overwhelmed with the information and misinformation out there on products, ingredients, protocols, just about everything. The beauty world is just one big scam. And honestly, it's the worst kind of scam because it's kind of like one big MLM. So for the next 11 or so weeks, I'm going to be breaking things down in ways that are easy for you to understand and provide you with real resources so you can hopefully become much more successful at this than I was when I was getting started. Stick with me for about 30 minutes every week, and I guarantee you will be a much better beauty professional. And if you're not a professional but just super intrigued by beauty and skincare, you're going to be a much more educated consumer. All right, that's enough of pleasantries. Let's get into what you're here for. Today's episode is our 2025 Porecast, and it's all about the beauty trends we can expect to see this year, how you can address the concerns some of these trends may bring, and for my professionals out there, establishing yourself as a trusted professional. Let's start the show. Today, we're exploring the top beauty trends predicted for 2025 based on several industry reports and expert panels, and just a few things I've been noticing in the beauty zeitgeist, if you will. You will find links to all of my sources and the things that I mention in the show notes. So let's break down what's coming and what it means for both professionals and beauty enthusiasts alike. My first trend forecast, or should I say Porecast, is fermented skincare, or as I like to call it, kombucha care. While this trend started emerging in late 2020, it really seems to be gaining momentum now. And it's not entirely new. I think it's been around for quite some time, maybe a little over a decade, but I really feel like it's just picking up a lot of steam post-pandemic. And I think the fact that it's more popular in Asian countries like Korea and Japan help with the desire amongst American beauty consumers, because we always looking for something exotic. You might be asking, what do you mean by fermented skincare? What's that? Well, it involves beneficial microorganisms like bacteria or yeast that break down ingredients into more potent compounds. But don't freak out. This is usually the good kind of bacteria and yeast that is totally not harmful for our skin. The fermentation process can make molecular structures smaller, potentially improving product absorption. You might already know some of these really popular examples like the SK2 Essence, the Eminent Skin Probiotic Mask, and the Dr. Curacle Kombucha Tea Essence. You can easily identify fermented skincare by the ingredient list. So if you ever see something like lactobacillus or Saccharomyces ferment filtrate on an INCI list, that's your fermentation indicator. I recently tried products from Vetted Derm Lab, which is a new dermatologist founded line using lactobacillus ferment. So, new lines are continuing to pop up and tout fermentation as their unique selling point. Fair warning, fermented products often have a distinct smell, aka very stank, but they might be worth trying, especially if you have sensitive skin. The research on fermented skincare is pretty fascinating, and I've linked some key studies in the show notes. Researchers are still exploring the full potential of these ingredients, but early results are promising, particularly for sensitive skin types. So, again, if you have super sensitive skin or your clients are very reactive, try looking for some fermented skincare products and see if that helps. Moving on to our next trend, and I think this is somewhat related to fermented skincare, is skincare for the biome, or the beauty biome, if you will. Trend forecasters are predicting biome to be a major selling point in 2025. We're already seeing this with brands like Phyla Skincare, Dr. Whitney Bowe. She has the Bow Glow Microbiome Nourishing Cream. And then there's newcomer Civ Care with their Biome Balancing Serum. This touts a proprietary blend of bacillus spores as the star ingredient. Here's my take on this one. While there's solid research on microbiome skincare for specific conditions like acne and eczema, some marketing claims are just getting ahead of the science. So I do think microbiome, or just biome, will be the hot marketing term in 2025, and we may even see it get a PR push. Personally, there's nothing I kind of despise more than a singular ingredient getting a PR agent, but we'll talk about that later. Keep an eye on this space, but approach these broad claims with some healthy skepticism, because there's a lot of gray area when it comes to the beauty biome. Up next, and this one is mainly for my fellow estheticians, but if you are someone who visits one and you want the latest and greatest on your face, then this is for you. I think exosome treatments are going to be really huge in 2025, especially for those of us who provide microneedling services. So exosomes are cellular messengers that are finally becoming more accessible to aesthetic professionals after primarily being used in medical settings. These are great to have in the treatment room because they generally lead to more revenue and, a little extra coin, never hurt nobody. But they also give really amazing results to your clients, particularly if you have a client coming to you for any type of textured scarring. Exosomes are great. A little microneedling, a little exosome, literally chef's kiss, skin perfection. If you want to learn more about exosomes, I have an entire blog post on them and the benefits that I'll link in the show notes. Now, this next trend, I'm not going to lie to you, it's kind of throwing me for a loop. I was very shocked to see it continue to come up because I really don't know if aesthetic professionals can do much with this trend, but industry experts are predicting that treatments for Ozempic face, the facial sagging and volume loss that can occur with rapid weight loss, will be highly requested in 2025. I feel like this is just an interesting challenge for estheticians, really, because so many of the traditional solutions for something like this, like a filler, for example, are outside of our scope of practice. Immediately, I'm kind of thinking deep plane facelifts would be more where you want to go. But again, that's a plastic surgeon's wheelhouse, so I'm not really sure what an esthetician can do here. But maybe this is just our little time to chit chat, okay? What can we do? DMK treatments with banding, some carboxy therapy, microneedling, maybe. Although I think RF microneedling would be more beneficial. And again, that's something that is out of scope for most estheticians. So I'm not exactly sure why this kept coming up when I was doing research for this episode, but maybe this is an opportunity to create a service that speaks to it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Just drop me a comment if you're listening on Spotify or YouTube. Okay, the final trend is what I'm calling the everything product revolution. We're seeing a shift away from complex multi-step routines as consumers seek simplification and value. While men have long embraced the all-in-one products, this trend is now expanding across the market. What I'm talking about is a hero product, just one product that kind of does it all. I think the average beauty consumer is starting to be fatigued with the choices and the steps, the 10-step, the 5, 6, 7, 8-step routine. They're just weakening in popularity primarily because people are just tired of draining their bank accounts. So I think we're starting to see the rise of consumers sticking to just like one good product that kind of does it all, and everything else is just not a priority. Now, I do also think there are several factors at play for this that could be driving this trend. The first is economic considerations, decision fatigue, consumer burnout from overconsumption, and skepticism towards influencer recommendation. Now, that last one is very interesting because I want to say since even before the pandemic, a lot of products in the beauty space, both skincare and like color cosmetics, were largely being driven by influencers. Influencers could make or break a brand. Like, it was very crucial. And it seems like so much of a brand's marketing budget was going towards influencers. But I'm starting to see that backfire across social media platforms. People are starting to be more vocal about their mistrust of influencers. And we're seeing backlash from even things like brand trips and brand gifts, especially when they started giving the girls those luxury handbags. Like, people were upset. Like, no one wants to really see that anymore. So the influencer audience is just hypercritical right now. And, I don't really know what that means for influencers. But for us estheticians, it's our time, baby. Finally, licensed professionals can be the professional again. I think this is a great time as a professional, a licensed esthetician, licensed hairstylist, licensed barber. Like, this is the perfect time to promote your knowledge and your professional expertise, because I feel like consumers are seeking those with professional experience more than the girl next door. It took us a while to get to this point, but now we're here, and I think it's especially important for estheticians to realize this. The economy is hitting everybody so hard right now, and your clients will find you much more valuable when you're able to show that you value them beyond their dollars. I'm not saying that you have to recommend drugstore products, not at all, but consider offering your recommendations in a good, better, best format. What does that mean? So good would just be one essential product, that hero product that I spoke about earlier. It's just the one thing that they need from you specifically. That can be a cleanser. That could be a serum. More than likely, it will be a serum. Your hairstylist, one essential leave-in product. It could be a plethora of things, but it is only going to be one product, and there is no certain price point you have to put on the product. Just know it's the one product. Better would be 3 core products. So a very minimalist routine, if you will. Maybe it's a cleanser, a serum, a moisturizer, or a night cream. And the best would be a fully customized routine. So a complete solution. I feel like if you present your clients with recommendations in this way, I feel like it actually empowers and strengthens your relationship with your clients. You can let your clients decide based on their budget and needs, and they'll probably appreciate your understanding and return to you when they're ready to expand. What are your thoughts on some of these 2025 beauty trends and skincare trends? What are you seeing near you? What's a trend you'd like to start? Let me know by leaving a comment on Spotify or YouTube. You can also write in. Just visit glodega.com/podcast and share your thoughts in the contact form. All right, let's switch gears here a little bit and get into today's poor decision. Today's poor decision is all about professionalism and the best ways to establish yourself as an expert professionally. I'm putting heavy emphasis on professional and professionalism because it is severely lacking in our industry. And as a result, we're kind of becoming a huge turnoff to our potential clients. You know, being a professional in our industry is a bit redundant. I mean, to practice in all but about one state, you literally have to obtain a professional license. It is right there in the name, but spend 5 minutes searching on any social media platform for the words esthetician, hairstylist, nail tech, lash tech, and also the word unprofessional, and you're going to have an unlimited source of client horror stories. So we have got to do better. Today's focus is only a tiny, tiny microcosm of the professionalism aspect, and our poor decision today is, should you have a website or just a booking site? This really shouldn't be a controversial take, but for some reason, it is. One of the first and most important ways you can establish yourself as a professional is having an actual website. A website is very different from a booking site. A website establishes your business presence online. It's your digital storefront and your brand hub. This is your owned real estate on the World Wide Web, and it's where you showcase your expertise, services, and professional identity. This is not something that you need to break the bank for either. If you are starting out, if you're brand new, no money, getting it out the mud, a domain and hosting can literally be $30 a month or less. Your website does not need to be elaborate, but it should include these essentials: an about page, something about you that details your professional background and your certifications. This can include your license number. This can include any awards you have won. You're going to need your contact information for your business, and that includes the location address, your phone number, email address, and your social media handles. And very important with your contact information, you might want to note your preferred method of contact. So I know all of us operate differently, but I also know a lot of estheticians will prefer something like text or email because we usually don't ever have an opportunity to be hands-free. Next, you want to have a page dedicated to your service descriptions, the services you provide, and their pricing. Trust me on this. The services and the pricing is what you need, because if you just list the services, all your phone calls, all your texts, all your emails are just going to be asking you how much something is. I do think you need a dedicated section of the website. It doesn't necessarily need to be a completely different page, but you should have clearly stated business policies and booking rules. So, do you accept extra people at appointments? Do you allow kids in your space? What is your cancellation policy? What is your rescheduling policy? Those are all things that should be clearly stated, and it should be easy for someone to find before booking with you. That brings me to my next point. Your website should have a way for your clients or your potential client to book an appointment with you. That is what they want to do. That needs to be a part of your website. And lastly, you need a blog or a resource section. And this is just for you to demonstrate your expertise. So if I'm coming to your website and let's say I'm looking for someone who specializes specifically in acne for Black skin, this is a shameless plug for me, although I specialize in acne for literally anyone with skin. I'm going to look and see if you are talking about acne anywhere on your website outside of your service description, because that's going to let me know, this person knows what they're talking about. They're on to something here. Or if you're a hairstylist and maybe you specialize in curly cuts or color, you're going to have a few resources that will let me know how I can prep my hair the best for a curly cut, how I can prep my hair best for color, maybe a shopping list of products that I will need now that I've decided to go blonde. All of these are good examples that could be a part of your resource section. So these 6 elements are kind of what I would consider to be the bare bones basics of a professional website. If you want to do some extras, you can have a page dedicated to like reviews, testimonials, and before and afters, or just like more photos of your space. Those are all nice to haves, but they're not exactly necessary. I think the most necessary things are going to be that about page, contact, service descriptions, and pricing, policies, booking, and the resources, which can be a blog or some downloads. I think those are going to be the most important. Now, a booking platform is just a way for your clients to book appointments with you without needing to speak with you directly. This is very crucial. A booking platform is your operational engine. It's specifically designed to handle the business logistics of appointments and client management, aka the bulk of your business. I don't know about you, but I actually am annoyed if I have to call, text, or DM someone just to book. It is 2025. Let me book online in the middle of the night at 3 a.m. like a normal person. Take my credit card info and this deposit and let's go on about our business. Like, I don't want to talk to anyone. Anyway, a booking platform provides 24/7 automated appointment scheduling, client profile management, including treatment and history, automated appointment reminders and confirmations, cancellation and rescheduling capabilities, integration with your calendar, payment processing, client notes and appointment history tracking, analytics on booking patterns and client retention, and honestly, so much more. The question at the beginning of this poor decision segment was, should you have a website or just a booking site? And the answer is you need both, okay? You need a .com, .co, .org, .biz, .xyz. You need a domain that goes to a website, and you need to have your booking site integrated on that website. When potential clients are searching for your services, they are going to want to find your website where all information is present. If they find just your booking site, it may lack crucial details that help clients make better booking decisions, like location, contact info, practitioner info, and policies regarding cancellation and no-shows. Many booking platforms allow you to have this information, but some of them only showcase this information after an appointment has been made. And this could, not be super helpful. Like, if I don't drive, if I rely on public transportation, I kind of need to know where I'm going. I don't want to wait until I get my confirmation email for a location or an address to be revealed to me. It may be out of my way. And also, if you use a booking platform that integrates into something like Google My Business, clients are not going to be able to see any of that other stuff. They literally will just book the appointment. So yeah, some things clients need to know before booking, and having a website is the best way to showcase all of that information. When you combine these two powerful tools, a website and a booking platform, you're creating an experience that says, I take my profession seriously and I value your time. Instead of asking clients to message you on Instagram or leave a voicemail, they can move seamlessly from learning about your services on your website to booking their appointment with just a few clicks. This professional flow not only saves you countless hours of administrative work, but it also sets clear boundaries, and you don't have any more scattered booking requests across different platforms, or you don't find yourself trying to manage appointments through text. The real beauty of this combination is how it elevates your entire practice. Your website builds your credibility and attracts new clients, while your booking platform keeps everything running smoothly behind the scenes. Together, they create a professional experience that matches the high quality service you provide in your treatment room. Wherever you are, whatever your profession is, I just know it's high quality. So you want to give your clients an experience that reflects that. And again, I can't stress enough how important it is that you own your website. Algorithms on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and any other social media platform cannot be trusted to promote you and your content 24/7. Hell, sometimes your posts can be taken down from the platforms without warning if the algorithm deems it maybe too grotesque. This is something that actually happened to me, and all I did was share a simple before and after of an acne client. So please, 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 please get a website and embed your booking platform into it. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Website or booking platform? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? I want all the smoke. Let me know what you're thinking. Okay, this is a new segment. This is different from the preview episode because I kind of feel like we already did a poor report with the Porecast. So this week we actually get to do our first choice words segment. And let me just say, your girl was absolutely gaggedy at the fact that we already have listener letters coming in. I thought this would be something that might come a little later in the life of this podcast, but here we are. So let's dive in. Our first letter comes from Patricia, who says, "Hello, Hadia. First, let me say I absolutely love the name of your podcast. Poor Choices. It's so catchy and clever." Thank you, Patricia. I have a couple of questions I'd love your advice on. One, what are some effective home remedies for properly cleansing combination skin? Two, what natural options work best for moisturizing combination skin? And three, do you have any tried and true home remedies for fading or removing sunspots? Whew. Okay, Patricia, that is a lot of questions. So maybe I should say, if you have a choice word, it's like let's try to keep it focused on one thing, maybe one question. But I'm gonna go ahead and answer all of these, and I'm gonna tell you right now, you're probably not gonna like my answers. Keep in mind that I'm actually a skin scientist as well, so I'm speaking scientifically here because I think you're asking great questions that deserve answers based in fact, not opinion. So for your first question, the most effective home remedy is just going to be soap and water. I don't think there's necessarily anything that you need to concoct in your kitchen that is going to be more effective than basic soap and water. It could be any soap, but I would only recommend a formulated cleanser specifically for the face. While skin is pretty much the same all over our body, our faces tend to be very different because it is the most exposed area. And also depends on our face shape and structure, but some areas of our faces can be much thinner than others. We have less fat in our face, whereas on the body we have more adipose tissue supporting our skin. So I would say look for formulated facial cleansers. Now, when you mentioned combination skin, and I really want to say combination skin types have the cheat code. You could really use you use whatever type of cleanser that you want it to, but you want to focus more on your skin condition. So having combination skin but mainly being dry, you're going to maybe just focus on things for dry skin. If you have a combination skin but really you're more acneic, then you're probably going to want to focus on a cleanser with some beneficial acne properties. When it comes to cleansing, my only true recommendation is to always use a warm washcloth to remove the cleanser rather than just splashing your face with water like you see in commercials. This is the most effective way to remove your cleanser, especially if you are oilier or if you are using a cleanser that's exfoliating in any way. As for your natural options, well, you have to define natural. It's such an adulterated marketing term that I'm not even sure what it means when I hear it. Most of the time it means no chemicals, which really means no preservatives, and I can tell you that you do not want that. If there were no preservatives in your products, you would be purchasing your entire routine every 30 days. It's just ridiculous. But also, sometimes natural means no synthetic ingredients. And to be honest, that is really hard to confirm. Not all, but a few, maybe a lot of synthetic ingredients appear the exact same way as a natural ingredient would on an INCI list. And the FDA has no requirements on disclosing this information or not, so brands just don't do it. I could lie right now and say any product was natural if I wanted to, and there'd be no one to check me on that. Maybe someone would if they had the time and were annoyed, but I wouldn't go to jail for not saying that. So yeah, I don't know if that was the answer you were expecting, but that's kind of the answer. Lastly, the best remedy for sunspots is sunscreen. That's the best one. Using it and reapplying it daily. But also there are chemical peels and there's P2, which is pigment potion. That's the serum that I make. Shameless plug. If you are interested, go to the website and buy that. So Patricia, those are my answers. I hope you found something helpful in there. Write us again if you have another question. Okay, our next question comes from Jonna. Jonna says, how do you know when you should get a chemical peel? That is a really great question. And I think you know you're ready for a chemical peel if you develop very specific skin concerns, such as an uneven texture, some fine lines, maybe you have acne scarring, or maybe you have really deep hyperpigmentation, or just like a rather dull complexion. Chemical peels help with all of those issues. And another way you know that you're ready is that if you've been on a routine for a minute, but you are not seeing any improvement, then that is probably a good indicator that you need to visit a professional, get started on the chemical peel journey. If it's been somewhere between 4 to 6 months and you're really not seeing any progress, or your progress is super slow, you might be able to benefit from a chemical peel boost. It's also important to note that some medications and skin conditions may make peels unsuitable, and that's another reason that you should definitely go seek a professional. If you need help finding an esthetician in your area, you can hit me up on IG at FairyGlowMother and I'll send you some recs. Thank you so much, Patricia and Jonna, for writing in and popping our choice words cherry on the show. If you've got some choice words about products, practitioners, influencers, or you just have some general skincare questions, you can go to www.glowdega.com/podcast and leave them in the form at the bottom of the page. All right, that's a wrap on our first episode of Poor Choices. If you found value in today's show, please leave a 5-star review and a rating and share with your network. Don't gatekeep. Remember, we are here every Tuesday with fresh content to help you level up your beauty game. You can follow me at FairyGlowMother across social media and visit glowdega.com to book services or explore my product line. You can check the show notes once again for links to everything mentioned, and I will see you next Tuesday. Next week, we're diving into the big choice, and you don't want to miss this. Until then, remember, make your poor choices the best choices. See you next week.